Assalamualaikum and welcome to my final year project presentation. My name is Adlin, Binti Rahman, a final year student of biology from the Department of Applied Sciences. The title of my research is The Comparative Study on the Effects of Natural and Synthetic Organic Pesticides on Abelmoschus esculentus, also known as Okra. This project is supervised by Encik Ahmad Faris Penseman, Lais Kamarul Zaman. Shown here is the table of contents of this presentation. The introduction. The background of study. Crops have evolved and been developed by scientists to withstand harsh conditions, diseases, and increases in yield production. However, even with the constant development, crops such as okra are still unable to ward off pests, which leads to farmers using pesticides. Pesticides are made of chemicals which are often harmful to organisms other than the target plant. And pesticides application on a variety of plants could retard the growth and decrease chlorophyll production. Some studies have shown that crops applied with natural pesticides have higher level of antioxidants and lower levels of cadmium, which help to prevent some chronic diseases in humans. Problem statement. The difference in nutritional value and presence of chemical residues in the use of okra due to the usage of natural and synthetic pesticides remains unknown. In addition, there is a lack of research papers published about okra up to this day. Significance of study. The findings from this study can facilitate farmers to provide other options of safe pesticides in order to produce better crops and environment. It can ensure the safety of food source, which is important to the well-being of consumers, and it is also in accordance with the 12th SDG, which focuses on the responsible consumption and production of food. The objectives of this research is to compare the effects of natural and synthetic organic pesticides to the growth of Abelmoschus esculentus, which includes the length and weight of okra pods, height of plant, and leaf size. Second is to compare the effects of natural and synthetic organic pesticides to the use of Abelmoschus esculentus. Literature review. The origin of okra is undetermined, but a lot of research states Ethiopia, West Africa, and India as centers of origin. From Figure 1, we can see that okra comes from the family Malvaceae, which includes other popular plants such as durian, cacao, and hibiscus. Okras are perennial plants in tropical countries and annual plants in temperate countries. In addition, okra has high nutritional values because it contains lots of vitamins, minerals, and is also high in dietary fiber. Pesticides are any substance that is used to kill, repel, or control pests regardless of the type. There are many ways to categorize pesticides, one of which is by the absence or presence of carbon in it. Cypermethrin, an organic synthetic pesticide, is a class 2 pesticide under the pyrethroid category that acts on the nervous system of insects. Natural pesticides, on the other hand, are derived from plants or common household materials. Neem oil contains azadirachtin, which interrupts an insect's metamorphosis. Overall, the usage of pesticide can bring harm to the plant, environment, and people in the long run. Next is methodology. First is the germination of seeds, where 40 seeds were soaked in water overnight. Second is the planting of seedlings, where 34 seedlings were sown into a polybag each and separated into 7 groups of 5. Third is the quantitative measurement, where the height of plants and the size of leaves, as well as the number of pods, the weight of pods, and the length of pods were measured. Fourth is the pesticide application, where approximately 5 milliliters of pesticides were applied twice a week using foliar spray method according to the 7 groups listed follows. And finally, the data analysis, where includes the descriptive statistics, ANOVA, and 2 case tests. 2 case tests was used to test differences among sample means for significance. Results and discussion of this research. First is the okra plant height. According to the figure, the average height of plants treated with cypermethrin are higher than the average height of plants treated with neem oil, especially the C3 treatment group. This can be caused by the high concentration of cypermethrin that is applied to the treatment group. Cypermethrin keeps away pests, and the absence of the pests enables the plants to receive enough food from the leaves. However, there is no significant difference between each treatment group and the control group. Next is the leaf size. According to the graph, N2 group has the largest average leaf size, followed by C3 group. However, there is the presence of burn spots on leaves treated with neem oil. Neem oil can drive away pests and have antifungal properties, but it can burn foliage if used incorrectly. Overall, there is no significant difference between the sizes of leaves of the treatment groups when compared to the control group. From here on, we will be discussing about the yields of okra, which is in accordance with the second objective of this study. First is the number of pods. The plants in treatment group C3 produce the most number of okra pods, followed by treatment group N2, as can be seen from figure 5. Treatment groups C1 and N1 produce the least number of pods, which is the same as the control group. We can conclude from this is okra yield production is not greatly affected by several types of pesticides. In addition, there is no significant difference between the yield production of the treatment groups and the control group. Next is the weight of pods. The C2 treatment group produced okra pods with the heaviest average and closely followed by C3 treatment group, as can be seen from figure 6. C1 treatment group produced okra pods with the lightest average weight among all the treatment groups, including the control group. Similarly, there are no significant differences in the pod weight between treated groups compared to the control group. Lastly, the length of pods. The average length of okra pods in C2 treatment group is the highest, and it is closely followed by okra pod length in treatment group C3, as can be seen from figure 7. The C1 treatment group has the lowest average length of okra pod among all the treatment groups, including the control group. And again, there are no significant differences in the pod length between treated groups when compared to control group. The conclusion. In conclusion, the natural pesticide use, neem oil, and synthetic organic pesticide use, cypermethrin, did not significantly affect the growth of Abelmoschus esculentus, which includes the height of plants and the leaf size. There was also no significant difference in the number of okra pods produced by each treatment group and the control group. As for recommendations, it is advised to add more replicates to each treatment group and increase the period of treatment. It is also encouraged to add more control variables, such as controlling the period of sunlight exposure and monitoring the soil pH. Lastly, it is recommended to increase the concentration of both pesticides used in the study. All of the recommendations were given so that to ensure that the results are mainly because of the pesticides and not by other variables. Here are the list of references used in this presentation. Thank you.